Hello everyone, my name is Leonard Satria Sorjo. In this video, I will be presenting my application, which is ProjekKu ID. So at its core, this application is built for companies that does custom projects, which means that this application is designed and built for companies that create different products to meet their specific client demands. So let's start by entering this application and we'll be greeted with the registration screen. So we'll be entering our credentials. So let's say our name is Leonard, our username is Leon Corps, Leon Corporation, Leon Corps. Our password is 1234 and confirm password 1234. So let's register our new account. So next we'll be greeted with a login screen where we will just input our previously inputted data. So we'll be inputting Leon Corps. And for the password 1234. So we have entered the home page. So in this home page, we have a lot of options, including add product, add supplier, add material, add customer, and add installation. So each of these pages have their own purpose. So let's say that I am an owner of a clothing company. So I'll start by entering the product that I sell. So for this, let's enter our product. Let's say first we sell jeans. So let's say our company sell jeans. So we will add record using this button and it will be added into the database. So as we can see here, this preview shows the preview of the database of product where it contains product ID and product name. So let's say we add another product, which is shirt. And we add this record to the database. So we have the new record now, which is shirt with product ID number 2. So let's say we did a typo and we will want to change the data that we have inputted previously. So for this, let's say we enter a new type of product. Let's say we want to change the first product ID in this table into jeans navy. All right. So for this, we will simply put the product ID, which is 1, and we'll click edit record. So by clicking edit record, the new updated content will be uploaded to the database and it will change the content for product ID number 1, which is now jeans navy. So let's say we will be adding our supplier record next. So we'll click add supplier record and we'll be directed into the supplier page. So in the supplier page, let's say if I am a clothing company that I will be supplying the materials for my clothes from certain companies. So let's say in this case, supplier name, cloth supplier 1. Address, let's say in Jakarta. Contact number, let's just make this random number. And supplier status, we could click either active or inactive. So for this case, we'll be clicking on active. So supplier ID, we don't need to fill this yet. So we'll try to add to the supplier to the database. And as you can see, the new supplier is here. Supplier ID 1, supplier name code supplier, and address Jakarta. So let's say we add another supplier, which is supplier 2, address in Bekasi. With contact number, random number. So let's say this is active and get another supplier. So in this case, we already have 2 suppliers in the table, but what if we decided to change one of the suppliers contact? So let's say we add cloth supplier new with the address still in Jakarta, with contact number, a new contact number, and a new supplier status inactive. So supplier ID, we change it into 1, which means that we are updating supplier ID 1 in the table. So we'll click on edit record and it will change. So as you can see, it changed from cloth supplier 1 into cloth supplier new. So next we'll be adding a new material record. So we will click on Add Material Record, and it will direct us into a new page called Add Material page. So in this page, we'll be adding the materials that will be needed to create our products. Let's say we will need wool, and the cost per one, it is based on our information. So let's say it is 120 for each wool, for each kilogram of wool. And supplier ID, so this is the tree view is shown here. So the moment we want to add or input a new data about materials, then we could simply look on the supplier table and see which supplier ID will be connected to this material. So let's say for this supplier ID will be connected to supplier ID number 2. So we'll add 2. And product ID will be connected to jeans navy, which is product ID number 1. And material ID, we don't need to fill this yet. So we'll click on Add Record, and it will automatically input the new data into the database of material. So let's say we want to add another material. Let's say button. Cost per one is 12. Supplier ID is 1. Product ID is still 1. And we have another material, which is button. So in this case, as always, we can still edit the data that we have inputted. As we want to change the info about wool. So for this, we need to change wool. Let's say we want to change the cost for each kilogram of wool. For this, we need to change it directly. Supplier ID 1, supplier ID 2, product ID 1, and finally material ID 1, which means that we are editing the first row, the material ID number 1. So we click on Edit Record, and it will give us 110. The price is updated. So now we're going to go to the next page, which is Add Customer. So since different projects will be delegated into, will be ordered by different customer, so this page will input different customer list into our database. So let's say we add new customer. So let's say buyer 1, and address is in Jakarta, contact number, random number, and customer ID, we don't need to fill this yet. So add customer, and it will add to the database buyer 1, customer ID 1. Let's say we want to edit the data into buyer, let's say Mr. B. So address still the same, Jakarta, number and number, and customer ID 1. So we'll click on Edit Record, and it will change the data into Mr. B. So we go back to the home page, and now we'll go to the installation page. So installation page is where we will be adding the labor costs for our project. So let's say in this case, if I am a coding company, then I will be paying my manager, my company's manager. And in this case, we will just add, let's say, a manager with wage per day of 20. Let's say $20 per day. So we will add the installation record. And let's say we add another worker. Let's say the worker with a wage per day of 10. So we add this to the database. So as you can see, the new data has been inputted into the database. So now we will go to the add cell record. So this page is where we will be adding our project. So we'll start by clicking this, and now we have this. So let's say if I'm a coding company, then I have a new project called let's say floating project 1. And project date, let's say this is a project that I did last year in 2023. So we'll pick a random date in 2023. Let's say 11 January 2023. So we'll pick that. And product ID. So this shows the product that we are selling in this case. Let's say in this case, we will be selling shirt for product ID. And customer will be picking on one customer that connects to this project. So let's say Mr. B is the customer of this project. So we'll click on Mr. B. So next we'll be inputting our transport costs. Transport cost is the additional cost that we will need to for transportation towards the project area. So let's say we'll be spending $1,000 for this, and project value will be valued at $15,000. So we'll click on add project record. So hello everyone, my name is Leonard Satria Swarjo. In this video, I'll be presenting my application, which is ProjekKu ID. So starting off, this application is designed and built for companies that does custom projects to meet their specific client demands. So in other words, this application will fulfill the needs of the companies that will make different products with different composition of materials. So let's start by entering the application itself, and we'll be greeted with registration screen. So let's say our name is Leonard with username of Leon Corps and password of 1234 and confirm password 1234. So we're registering this new account, and now we'll be directed into the login screen, where in this screen we'll be entering our previously inputted data, which is Leon Corps for the username and password 1234. So let's click login, and we have successfully entered the homepage. So let's say I'm an owner of a clothing company, and I would like to be adding my product. So let's start by adding our product, the type of product that we sell in my company. So let's click on that, and in this page, we can be adding our product. So if I'm a clothing company, then I will be selling jeans, for example. So let's say we add jeans, and we don't need to fill this for the moment. So we'll click on add record, and will give us we'll input the data of jeans to the database of product. So as you can see in this review, it is shown that the new product name of jeans is now added into the database. So let's say we add another product of clothes, and we click on add record, and we will add another record to the database. So now, what if I did a typo and I would like to be changing the data that I have inputted previously? So for that, we go to, let's say we enter a new product name, which is jeans, let's say sweater, with product ID of 1. So entering the product ID 1 means that I am editing product ID 1 in the database. So when we click on edit record, it will change into sweater. So there's a little bit of typo. So we change it into sweater, and we click edit record, and it will change into sweater. So now product ID 1 is sweater. So now let's continue by adding a new supplier record. So if I'm a clothing company, then I will be partnering with several suppliers to be supplying my the materials that will be needed for my product. So let's say for this case, we'll be entering supplier 1 for our first supplier, and address in Bekasi, for example. So with contact number, random number, and supplier status active with supplier ID, which will we be skipping for now. So we click on add supplier, which will input the data into the database. So let's say we want to edit our supplier data into supplier 2. Let's say supplier S, and address still in Jakarta. So you can change it into Jakarta with contact number still random, and active with supplier ID 1. So this indicates that we want to change the data at supplier ID 1. So we click on edit record, and it will update the data that we have inputted previously. So now we will go back to the home page, and we will go to add material type. So this is the page where we will be adding the materials that we will need to produce our product. Let's say in this case, we will need wool to produce sweater. So the cost for each wool, say the cost for each kilogram of wool will be $15, and the supplier ID will be 1, which means that this material is produced by supplier ID number 1, which is supplier S in this case. And product ID, let's say we choose 1, which means that this material is needed to produce the product ID number 1, which is sweater. So with material ID, which we'll be skipping for now. So we add record to the database, and now the record is added to the database. Let's say we want to add another material type. In this case, let's say button with a cost per one of 15 and a supplier ID of 1, product ID of 1, and material ID of let's say we skip for now. So at record, we add another data to the database. So now let's say we want to change the data that we have inputted previously. So we'll do the same. Material name, let's say we change it into spatial wool, or let's say spatial, and cost per one or 15, supplier ID 1, product ID 1, and for material ID we'll be inputting 1, which means that we are editing the data at material ID number 1. So we will click on edit record, and it will update the data at material ID number 1. So we'll go back to the main page, home page, and now we'll add the customer record. So this page will be used for us to add the customer that will be buying our products or assigning us to different projects. So let's say for customer name, we'll add Mr. C with address at Bogor. And contact number, just put a random number. Customer ID, we'll skip for now. And we add the customer with Mr. C. Let's say you want to edit the data, the address of Mr. C. So we'll simply add the Jakarta with contact number, random number, and customer ID 1, which means that we are editing customer ID number 1. So we'll click on edit record, and it will edit the address of Mr. C. So now we'll be adding the installation record. So this application, this page will enable us to add labor costs towards our project. So if I'm a clothing company, then I will be needing, let's say, a manager to manage my production. So for this, we add manager with a wage per day of $15. So we add the installation record, and we add another type of job, let's say worker, and with a wage per day of 10, and we add the installation record. So now we already have 2 different occupations or job in our database. So now finally we'll start by adding our project record by clicking on add cell record. So this screen right here, it will enable us to add certain projects. So let's say our project is project 1 with a project date of, let's say, in 2023, which is last year. So we'll click on a random date on 1 January of 2023. So we'll pick a different product. We'll pick a product ID. So let's say we'll pick sweater in this case, and customer ID of Mr. C. So this means that Mr. C is the one that will be assigning us or buying us in buying our products in this case. So transport costs, I set it into 1,200, and project value, which is the overall value of the revenue of the project itself, I set it at 15,000. So now we have transport costs, we have project value. So now next we'll add into the add project record. So now we'll be directed into the next page, which is material. So this material is we can edit the value of material itself, because each project may have a different requirement of materials. So sweater have 2 materials, which is button and spatial. So we'll be adding these materials. So let's say we'll be needing 2 buttons and 3 spatials. And let's say we want to have 0 buttons or and 3 spatial, and this is possible. So after we set everything up, we will click save record and next. Now we'll be going to the next page or the next stage, which is we will be adding the labor costs of this operation. So for this, we will add worker. Let's say we will need 15 worker for this project, and the number of days. Let's say we'll be hiring these workers for 3 days. So let's say we will save and summarize. There is an option for us to add another type of worker, but let's say for this case, we'll just need the worker, and we'll hire 15 of them, and we will hire them for 3 days in total. So this is our project results, and as can be see, project name is project 1 with installation expense of 750 and a total gross profit of 11,505. So we'll confirm this record by clicking confirm record. So by clicking confirm record, we'll be going back to the home page. And let's say we'll add under another record of project. And in this case, we will be setting this project in 2024. So we'll set this project in January 3, 2024 with project name of project 2024. Product ID of sweater, customer ID of Mr. C, with a different transport cost of 1,500 and project value of 20,000, let's say. So we have added our data, and we'll click on add project record. So we'll now add this material for the sweater, and let's say we'll be using a different composition of materials. Let's say in this case we'll be using 4 buttons and 2 specials. So we'll click on save record and next, and we'll click on make worker. Let's say we'll hire 10 workers for this case, and with a total day of 3. So we'll click on save and summarize to summarize the results of this project. So now this is the newest result of the second project, which is done in year 2024. And the previous project that I've inputted beforehand is done in 2023. So now we'll click on confirm record. So with 2 projects we have already inputted into this database, now we will go on to see our new feature, which is show cell insight. So this feature is used to share and show the insight of our company. So we'll click on this button. And in this page, we can see that we have already collected the data of all-time gross profit. So this is the gross profit of our company of all time, and it shows 27,615 with the 2024 gross profit of 16,110. So this section, the second section, it only counts the gross profit from year 2024 onwards. And next, we also have the most valuable project, which is project 2024, and highest project value, which is 16,110. So in the preview below this data, below this shown values, we also have preview that shows the project that we have done or we are having in the moment. So that's all for my application. I hope you enjoy my video. And if you have any hesitation or questions, feel free to contact me through my email at leonhardsuarjo@gmail.com. leonhard.suarjo@gmail.com. Thank you.